Imagine this. You've spent years, maybe decades, carefully building your retirement portfolio. A mix of stock index funds, stock ETFs, and bond funds, all working together like a well-oiled machine. But when it's finally time to retire and start living off that portfolio, here's the million-dollar question. How do you take money out without running out too soon? That's where withdrawal strategies come in. And the truth is, withdrawing is just as important as investing. Let's walk through some of the most effective withdrawal strategies for a diversified portfolio of funds. Strategy 1. Pro-Rata Withdrawals. The simplest option: sell proportionally from every fund according to your allocation. For example, if you're 60% in stock index funds and 40% in bond funds, and you need $40,000, you'd sell $24,000 from stock index funds or ETFs and $16,000 from bond funds. This keeps your portfolio balanced, but the downside is you may be forced to sell equity funds even when markets are down. Strategy number 2, income first strategy. Another approach is to start with dividends from your stock and bond funds. If that doesn't cover your needs, you can sell shares, typically from the stock index funds, ETFs, or bond funds that have gained the most, locking in profits and avoiding recent losses. This strategy reduces trading, but most retirees won't generate enough income this way, so it's usually combined with other strategies. Strategy number 3, the bucket strategy. An alternative approach. If you like visual planning, the bucket method divides your portfolio into 3 time horizons. Bucket 1, cash and short-term bond funds to cover 1 to 2 years of expenses. Bucket 2, intermediate bond funds to cover medium-term needs, 3 to 10 years. Bucket 3, stock index funds and ETFs for long-term growth. How it works in practice? In strong markets, you withdraw directly from Bucket 3 to fund your day-to-day retirement income. Buckets 1 and 2 act as your reserves. You don't touch them while the market is healthy. If the market takes a downturn, you pause withdrawals from Bucket 3 and instead draw from Buckets 1 and 2 to cover living expenses. Once the market recovers, you go back to drawing from Bucket 3 and refill Buckets 1 and 2 so they're ready for the next downturn. Why it works? This approach helps you capture growth in up markets, while your cash and bond reserves protect you from having to sell stocks at a loss during downturns. Strategy number 4, Guardrail or flexible withdrawals. For retirees who want flexibility, this method adjusts spending based on portfolio performance. Strong year? Take a little extra. Weak year? Pull back. This flexibility helps extend the life of your portfolio. For example, imagine you retire with $1 million portfolio and a target of $40,000 per year, or 4%. You set guardrails to keep your spending sustainable. If your portfolio grows above $1.2 million, you increase spending 10% to $44,000. If it falls below $800K, you cut spending 10% to $36,000. Here's how it works in practice. Year 1, portfolio grows to $1.25 million. You reward yourself with $44,000. Year 2, market drops, portfolio falls to $780K. You tighten spending to $36,000. Year 3, recovery brings it back near $1 million. You return to $40,000 withdrawals. This guardrail system helps balance stability with flexibility, helping your spending stay sustainable over the long run. Strategy number 5, tax-smart withdrawals. Not all accounts are taxed the same, so order matters. A common sequence is taxable accounts first. Long-term capital gains are often favorable. Tax-deferred accounts, like IRAs or 401ks, next. planning carefully around required minimum distributions. Roth IRAs last since they grow tax-free and withdrawals don't create tax bills. Strategy number 6, rebalancing-driven withdrawals. Each year, you rebalance back to your target allocation. If stock funds had a great year and now make up too much of your portfolio, sell some stock index funds or ETFs to cover withdrawals and bring things back in line. Think of it like pruning a tree. Trim the branches that grew too much, let the smaller ones grow, and keep the whole portfolio healthy for the long run. For example, let's say you retire with this mix: $600,000 in stock index funds and ETFs, or 60%, $400,000 in bond funds, or 40%. And you need $40,000 a year to live on. Year 1, market up. Stock funds rise to $660,000. Bond funds stay steady at $400,000. You sell $40,000 from the stock funds, the overweight side. Portfolio ends the year balanced again at about 60-40. Year 2, market down. Stock funds fall to $580,000. Bond funds rise slightly to $410,000. Instead of selling stock funds at a loss, you withdraw $40,000 from bond funds. Your lifestyle continues without panic selling. Year 3, mixed year. Stock funds grow back to $600,000. Bond funds sit at $370,000 after the last withdrawal. You take $20,000 from stock funds, locking in some gains, and $20,000 from bond funds, keeping both sides balanced. Over time, this approach works like pruning. Trim the strong branches, let the smaller ones grow, and keep the portfolio healthy for the long run. The big takeaway: managing withdrawals from a portfolio of stock index funds, ETFs, and bond funds isn't about following a single rule. It's about blending strategies, using buckets for stability, guardrails for flexibility, tax-smart sequencing for efficiency, and rebalancing for long-term health. Because retirement isn't just about building your portfolio. It's about turning that portfolio into freedom, security, and the life you've been working toward all along. Thank you for watching. I hope these strategies provide clarity and confidence as you plan your withdrawals for a secure retirement. If you found this video valuable, please like, subscribe, and enable notifications so you won't miss future content. I'd love to hear from you. What strategy will you implement first, or do you have insights to share from your own retirement planning experience? Comment below. Wishing you continued success and happy investing.